In this video, I'm working on my Mazda 3. It's a 2013, and I'm going to be replacing the rear pads, rotors, and I end up replacing both of the calipers. The rear brakes were dragging a bit, particularly the driver's side. I thought it was the slide pins were maybe gummed up. I hadn't really touched them in a little while, but that's not the case. And you can see the rotor's pretty pitted now, and I can't move it. So the parking brake's not on. I've obviously got the vehicle jacked up with the wheels off already, and there's actually no pad left on the outside, and the pad's really worn down on the inside. And it is because the parking brake is seized in the on position, and that's one of the reasons I go on to just change the calipers. Now, to get the slide pins out, it's a 7mm hex, and they're not in there too tight. They only go in with about 22 foot-pounds of force, so it's not that bad, and they're obviously lubed up. But these slide pins slide really smoothly, so they are not the issue, as I sort of initially thought. To get the caliper off, I find that you need to push the slide pins a little bit manually on the Mazda 3, but once they're pushed off, it's no problem to remove the caliper. You do need to remove this spring clip before the caliper will slide out. And there we go, caliper just pulls out, even though the parking brake is kind of set on. And I'll just pull the pins out here as well. So, as mentioned, no issues with the slide pins. They are sliding just fine. And you can see there's obviously the inner brake pad, very worn down, but it still has a little bit of pad life to it. And here's the outer pad, completely gone. Obviously, once it hit metal, it became very obvious that the brakes were dragging. And I would say I let it drag for about a day while I was waiting for the weekend to come and work on these things. I didn't think it would get this bad this fast. Anyway, these brake discs are only 2 years old, and they are thoroughly seized onto the vehicle. Now, to remove the bracket bolts for the brake, it is a 14mm. I generally just use a wrench and give it a smack with a dead blow hammer and remove them that way. They are torqued to 56 foot-pounds in my case, so they are on there a little bit tighter than the slide pins. Once I get those bolts moving with the wrench and dead blow hammer, I just switch over to a socket because obviously it's a lot faster. And then once those two bolts are out, the bracket just comes off. No issues. I did buy this air hammer. Number one, I wanted to use it for something else, but I did want to try to get these rotors off, and you can see while I'm air hammering it, there's rust that's falling off the disc. So the discs really didn't last that long. And these are Brembo discs, so I'm not really happy with the longevity of these things. Like I said, only 2 years old. But the air hammer doesn't do it. So to get the disc off, I just hit it with a 10-pound sledge and popped it off that way. Now to get the piston to retract, normally you just have to turn it clockwise. In my case, I can't turn it clockwise or counterclockwise, so it's really seized up on there. And I let it sit for a little bit, hoping that I can come back and get it moving later. And I switch over to the passenger side for the removal. So same process exactly. There's the spring clip. You could remove the spring clip either before or after removing those slide pins. This one was a little bit more difficult to get out. And I did put PB Blaster on the rotor before trying to remove it here. And like I said, 7mm to get those slide pins out. These slide pins, they're actually not as smooth as the driver's side ones, but they weren't seized up either. There should be no issues with the slide pins. This brake wasn't dragging in any way though, so I really didn't suspect any issues on the passenger side. But when you replace the brake pads and rotors, normally you would do it in pairs. So if you're doing one side in the rear, you do both sides in the rear. Now this caliper has the opposite problem, and in this case, the parking brake doesn't go on. So on the passenger side, the parking brake is seized in the off position, and on the driver's side, the parking brake is seized in the on position. So both calipers have issues, and you can see that these pads are okay. They still have quite a bit of life in them. And for the mounting bracket, I do the same thing. 14mm wrench, dead blow hammer to get them going, and then I switch over to the socket to expedite the process. And I had the same issue with this rotor. Again, they've only been on here for 2 years. In the end, I tried the air hammer in multiple positions, gave up, and switched over to the sledgehammer. And obviously the sledgehammer worked much better. Now you can see I can rotate this piston. It takes forever to do it this way, probably because you can't get very much pressure on it when you're using needle nose pliers. They do make tools for this, but I actually found out that the new calipers are only $120 each for everything, and that's why I just went and got 2 calipers. I just wasn't in the mood to mess around with the seized caliper. Obviously, one seized in the on position, one seized in the off position for the parking brake. I felt it would be a better deal just to go to Canadian Tire and spend the $240 on 2 brand new calipers. Now, at first I did try to use the 14 mil wrench to unscrew the brake line, and I just found the threads are just too long. You have to remove the parking brake cable first, otherwise everything will get very twisted up. I did use the air hammer to remove the parking brake line. In the front of the vehicle, I loosened the parking brake cable completely, and then I disconnected the parking brake, and then I used the air hammer to knock the parking brake straight back and out of the caliper. Once the parking brake was out of the caliper, it was very easy to remove the brake line from the brake caliper just by rotating the caliper around the brake line rather than unscrewing the brake line from the caliper. And to put the new caliper on, it was obviously just the reverse. So instead of turning the brake line, just turn the caliper until it's basically hand tight, and then take the 14 mil wrench and give it an additional half turn or so just to fully tighten the brake line down. Now to install the parking brake cable, I do lube it up a little bit, and it is a little bit tight to slide it all the way into the caliper. You can get it a little bit of the way, and that's not an issue, but to get it all the way in, it is a little bit difficult. And I loosened the parking brake cable as much as I could on the inside of the vehicle, and I'll show you how to tighten it afterwards. I also have a video on how to do the parking brake cables, which I will link in the description. I did use the air hammer to set the parking brake cable into the caliper as well. Like I said, it was a little bit tight. On the other side, I just use a flathead screwdriver and a hammer. So there's a couple options. While I'm putting everything back together, I open the bleeder valve on the brake caliper, and I just let the brake fluid continually run through the brake caliper while I'm doing everything else. So right now I just got my foot in the vehicle pressing on the brake just to move some additional fluid and air out. And I do periodically go to the front of the vehicle and check the brake fluid levels so that I always maintain brake fluid in the brake reservoir. It is raining now, so I'm having a good time. And I do lay down a whole bunch of anti-seize before putting the disc brake on, and to hold the disc in place, I'm just using 2 lug nuts. And that's really just so it doesn't fall off or land in my oil catch pan. And the caliper mounting bracket, I mean, it just goes on the same way. If you've already taken it off, it should be pretty straightforward to put it on. And there's just the 2 bolts to put on. So pretty easy. And at some point in time here, I do find my brake bleeder kit in the garage, and I get that hooked up as well. And for the torque spec on the mounting bracket bolt, I used 56 foot-pounds. And now you can see the brake bleeder kit is attached to the brake caliper. Bit of an optional step, I put a little bit of lubricant on the contact points on that mounting bracket. And this time I did get Brembo brake pads, and I did not get Brembo rotors. Mainly because of how quickly they rusted out. These rotors are a little bit different. You can see that they have black paint on them, and it's supposed to be an anti-corrosion coating. For the brake pads, the one with the spring is the one that goes on the inside, and the one without the spring is obviously the one that goes on the outside. And I used some of this Brembo brake lube, and I just put it on the caliper, on the piston, and basically the contact point for the brake pad. Once that's done, I put the caliper in place. The brake bleeder screw is still open, and I do put some lubricant on the slide pins, and the orange lubricant is just a brake specific lubricant. I actually don't like it. I just find that the orange color looks too much like rust, especially once it gets a little bit dirty. So I do think the orange color was a bad choice, but it's not that big of a deal, I suppose. And for the slide pins, I torque them down to 22 foot-pounds. And the slide pins have little plastic covers, and the brake calipers come with a spring clip as well. Generally speaking, I find the spring clip is pretty easy to get on there, but it is helpful to have a pair of needle nose pliers so that you could ensure the spring clip is fully seated into the brake caliper. And last thing I'm going to do is close off the brake bleeder screw. It's been going for a good 10-15 minutes now, and I have filled up a couple of those brake fluid bottles, and obviously I'm continually putting some .3 fluid up into the brake fluid reservoir. Now this parking brake cable does not come out very well. In fact, this air hammer sort of mashes it up and makes it more difficult to get it out. What I do with this, and what I should have done in the first place for both of them, is I just cut the brake caliper with a Dremel tool and a little cutoff wheel. I found it was very easy to just cut a little wedge out of where that parking brake cable goes, and then everything came out without an issue. For the hydraulic brake lines on this side, I did the same thing as on the other side, used the 14mm wrench to get it going, and then I just twisted the caliper until it was free of the brake line. And you can see where I cut the section out to get that parking brake cable out. Like I said, I should have done that from the beginning. It was very simple to use the Dremel tool and a cutoff wheel, just cut a little pie shape out of the brake caliper, which I'm going to throw it anyway. Now putting on the new caliper, once again, I'm holding the brake line in one position and twisting the caliper on, and then once it's fairly tight, I use the 14mm and just snug it up that extra quarter turn. I go into the vehicle, give the brake pedal a few pumps to start moving the brake fluid through the caliper, and then I hook up this brake bleeder kit for the rest of the time I'm working. So again, it's going to sit there for 20-25 minutes, just slowly working the air bubbles out of the brake caliper, and you can see some of the air bubbles moving through the brake bleeder kit. Now for this side as well, I also put a little bit of lube on the parking brake cable, and rather than using the air hammer, I just used a flathead and a dead blow hammer to push the parking brake cable into the caliper until it was fully seated. Now I do put a whole bunch of anti-seize on before putting the brake rotor on, and I do spray the brake rotors off with brake cleaner. I did put that anti-seize on the last time I did the brake rotors, and I don't know, they seized on there, so the anti-seize didn't work that well, I guess. But maybe this time it'll be different. Once again, for those brake caliper mounting bracket bolts, I'm using 56 foot-pounds. And once those are torqued down, I do, once again, put a little bit of lubricant on that mounting bracket, just in the location where the brake pads touch the mounting bracket. And then I do use a little bit more lubricant on the piston and the contact points on the brake caliper. I lube up the slide pins and I run those down by hand, and then I take the torque wrench again and I torque the slide pins to 22 foot-pounds. One of the last things to do is obviously put in that spring clip, make sure it's fully seated, drop those little plastic covers on for the slide pins, and these slide pins are also a 7mm hex bolt, just like the OEM, even though this is definitely not an OEM caliper. And before removing the brake bleeder kit, I close off that brake bleeder screw. And just to finish off the can of brake cleaner, I just spray down any of the locations where I was messy with the brake lubricant or the anti-seize. Now coming into my messy car, I use a deep socket 10mm and tighten up the parking brake cable. And I tighten the nut until I get the parking brake to the point where 6 or 7 clicks on the parking brake. Make that parking brake lever really tight and just go and check these wheels. And with the parking brake set, I can't move the wheels on either side, so the parking brake is definitely working. And then obviously taking the parking brake off, I could easily spin the hub. So new calipers in, and then the parking brake on both sides works. Like I said, the driver's side one was seized in the on position, so it was grinding out the disc, and the passenger side was seized in the off position, so I could never actually put the parking brake on. And I didn't really use that much brake fluid, maybe half a liter went into this reservoir while I was doing the caliper change, and that's pretty much it. I do bed the brakes in a little bit, doing some quick stopping on a dead street in the evening, and that's pretty much a wrap on this. So a lot more than I wanted to do, but at least now my parking brakes work. Anyway, thanks for checking out my video. Don't forget to like and subscribe.